Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all enjoying this rare Monday market break as we enjoy the July 4th holiday weekend. Going to try and make this video quick. As usual, we're going to start off with the Dow daily chart here. Nothing really to see other than, like all the other indices, we are at or trying to break new all-time highs across the market. The sentiment has turned around quite a bit. We're starting to see a lot of good action in between pauses in the market, which is not uncommon in the summertime. Now, before I jump in, one of the things I've advocated for many, many years and talked about it a lot in these videos over the last couple of years is keeping trading notes. They help with your growth, and as you start to gain more and more experience, it's a great tool to look back on if you're having slow periods, if you're having fantastic periods. And the reason I say that is you go back to these time periods, which is what I do almost daily, and see how in past years the action was related. And as you start doing this more and more years, you're going to start to see some good trends that give you an idea on how to plan out your trading strategy over the coming weeks and months. The last 5 years, going back on my notes, the market or the kinds of stocks that I trade have done very, very well after the July 4th. For the rest of the month of July, over the last 5 years, not even including the mania we saw last year, even in dead years in the market, right after the July 4th weekend, for the month afterwards, it was very, very solid market action in the kinds of stocks I traded, just going back and looking at my notes. Now, like everything else, nothing is certain in trading. There are only two things that are certain: death and taxes. That is it. Everything else is we take clues and we take what we see and we try to develop a strategy. So things in my eyes look good in the near term. As I mentioned, Dow new all-time highs. Russell is still stuck in this trading range from about 200 to 233. 233 to 35 break, and you could really see a nice avalanche of volume into the kinds of stocks that I trade. Now, you'll see down here what we've also noticed with our action. We have a day of mania. We have a dead day. We have a day of mania. We have a dead day. And that is what you see reflected in a lot of these small cap charts. That's just the way the market is right now. Traders are still sitting on a lot of cash. I'm sitting at about 77 to 80. My goal actually is to just be sitting 75 to 80% plus cash in my swing account. That's just my goal. I do not like to be overexposed in the market. You don't need to have everything in the market. That's what I have learned in my many decades of trading stocks. Having that cash cushion and ready to press on the gas when the market says you press on the gas, or backing off when the market says to back off, that is something that you will learn with time. AI, one of the large cap proxies I use for the market, has been in an uptrend since we saw that May low in the markets, holding these moving averages very nicely. It still is a pretty good barometer of what's going on in the overall market. When I see the action is good and I look over at my AI quote, I go, yep, that makes total sense. When the market's dead and I look over at my AI quote, I go, yep, that makes sense too. So that is where we are at that. My favorite large cap play right now is Dave and Buster's. I've gone over my research on this many times in the room, but just on a chart perspective, you can see this nice little trading range that it's been in for most of the year. But what I want to bring your attention to is the MACD cross. As you know from past videos, it's one of my favorite tools in telling me that there's a potential trend change afoot on a chart. And you can see here I've got some notations on past positive MACD crosses from a negative phase in MACD, and you can see each time has seen a very nice move higher in the stock. Now, these guys have 20% short. The float is not that big. It's in the 40 millions, and there's about 7 million shares short. These guys are growing. If you've not been into a Dave & Buster's in a while, their menu is one page, back and front. It used to be a novel when you went in there. Food comes out quick. It's perfect food because it gets you to where they make the money in the games. They're almost back to pre-pandemic levels. If the Reddit crowd comes for something that is actually a real stock and not the garbage that we've seen being run up this year, the squeeze on this one could be very, very nice, which is why I am okay sitting on this one and waiting for it to get found. Speaking of stocks waiting to get found, SPRT, this is the daily chart, but let's peep over here at the weekly chart. Now, these guys are merging with a green Bitcoin miner that is based in New York, owns a natural gas plant in New York, and that merger is going to come up in the third quarter. This stock reminds me a lot of Mara. Now, keep in mind, there was a recent runner, IKNX, that's up huge on its green Bitcoin mining operation merger. Keep in mind, SPRT already is making Bitcoin. This company is rocking and rolling. They've got a huge TikTok follower who's invested in. There is a lot of positives behind the scene, as well as the fact that approximately 40% of this low float is short. Again, this is another one that if they decide to latch onto it, these algos that squeeze these small stocks left and right, if they finally latch onto this one, could be a very, very nice ride on this one. A lot of very good potential behind it, and it's one of my favorite crypto swings right now. And recall, I was swinging Mara in the ones and Mogo in the ones before it became, quotation marks, cool to own those stocks last year. So again, I'm usually early, but the DD is solid on this one in my eyes. INUV. This is a weekly chart. This is another weekly chart. Take that as a bullish indication in my eyes. Remember, back in December and into January and February, I ended up having to use a lot of weekly charts to give us an idea of where stocks could go. And we saw one of the best small cap, micro cap markets I can ever remember, even better than the almost better than the dot-com mania that we saw from 99 to 2000. Back to the weekly chart lookups again. Broke over one briefly early on Friday and then got slapped right back down. Again, this is another one. You can see here we're about to get a positive MACD cross. ADX, this is another momentum indicator. And again, if you want to know what these indicators do and what I look for, just check out the tutorial video I went over. I've got a few of them on my favorite indicators. You'll always see them here on the charts I do. Stochastic's about to break through 50. Again, similar to what happened. All these things are similar to what happened on the weekly chart here in December when this stock went from 50 cents to 2+. So very, very nice setup here. This is the daily chart right now. Near term, on a close over $1 will be that 130 or 120 to 150 zone. It's a pretty big zone, but you know, we're just eyeballing what the chart says this thing could go to near term. UAMY, that was fantastic news we got on this stock, and it's still trading under $1. That is just the nature of the market we are in right now. Utter garbage is tripling and quadrupling left and right, and the stocks with the good charts and the real research behind them are still lagging. I'm okay. These guys confirmed everything that we wanted them to confirm. This is a long-term swing play for me. Just look at what TRCH did over the last few months. Similar kind of action when it was early in the days before everyone found it, and then look what it did recently, pushing over $10. Just look what VERB did. VERB would not move, even though we knew the Microsoft news, which actually hasn't come yet. And then on Monday, 250s. They had no problem chasing this stock up 100%. So when the charts are ready and the DD is good, good charts and good stocks will find a reason to run. Now, we're still waiting on this VERB Microsoft news, which is a bonus, seeing as it's significantly higher. So let's see if they finally release that press release tomorrow. CHCI, profitable stock. Look at this chart setup. Oh, I don't know what else to say other than I really like this stock. I love profitable stocks. I love profitable stocks in small cap land with charts like this. It takes some patience to sit on these because guys would rather chase junk like AHT up 200 or 300% and not take their gains and ignore stocks that actually make a profit. Eventually, though, stocks and charts like this go, Near-term target, 8 to 10 is still my target on this stock. SYPR, another one. Space stocks should do very, very well into the billionaire battle that we see coming up this month with Branson and Bezos going into space. SYPR, sweet move on Friday and briefly spiked above $4 before coming back. Same thing with VISL. This one spiked nicely as well. These should be stocks that I'm going to be looking to, day trade, possibly add to swings on the dip days that come, but solid setups on these two. ELTK, speaking of profitable stocks, this is a stock I just decided last week I'm going to plant my flag in it and I'm just going to sit back. This is another profitable stock in the chip sector. The last earnings report told us everything I need to know. And what made me finally just say, you know what, I'm going to sit on this stock and wait versus doing the in and out moves I have been is, again, the junk low floats that are moving and quality micro low floats with profits that could push out any kind of press release at any day. Yeah, I'm going to sit in a stock like this. Excellent volume on Friday, but still not the mega volume that should come on this one. This is another one. Just park and wait is my thoughts, and wait for a move like this that we saw on VERB to come here on ELTK. SNMP, just a quick mention, green merger energy play, trades exactly like Torch did. They'll probably like it at $1.25. That's usually what happens on plays like this. Last one I want to mention is BHAT, another profitable, and I believe, not confirmed, because although I haven't found another one yet, and there's a whole lot of under $1 stocks, one of the only under $1 profitable stocks. It's trying to break out through that 200-day moving average at 105. You can see here the red line. So that would be the break and close. A break and close above this level would be pretty significant for BHAT near term. Nice chart setup. Looks like we have the right environment for these kinds of stocks going forward. So that's it for the video, guys. Enjoy the rest of the holiday and see you all in the chat room tomorrow. Bye.